Welcome back, everyone. This is ITNewz Media Group. I'm just going to check my audio, make sure we are good. All right, audio is good. Thanks for joining. In the news, and as usual, go ahead and hit that in the news promo, and we will get started here. All right, so a lot going on today, but before we get into other news, we'd like to say our condolences to this brother here. As you can see on the screen, his name is Rondell Moore. He was an NFL wide receiver. He's unfortunately found unalived at his Indiana home on Saturday, officials said. He was 25. Moore passed away of a suspected self-inflicted gunshot wound and was found in his garage of a property in New Albany. Police Chief Todd Bailey said. Moore was a standout football player in college for Purdue. The Arizona Cardinals selected him in the 2021 NFL Draft. He played 3 seasons in Arizona from 2021 to 2023, and he was eventually traded to the Atlanta Falcons in 2024, but suffered a season-ending injury. His death remains under investigation, so definitely condolences to him and his family. All right, so I don't know if you've seen what's been going around about this story, but yeah, it looks like the racism is still prevalent in our society. Allison Friedman, who's on the screen there, is an associate professor of cellular neurophysiology at Hunter College. She was attending a community education council meeting that included parents, school officials, and students. At one point, as an 8th grade student started speaking about her fears that her school might shut down, Friedman's microphone appeared to be on, and she was heard making what seemed to be blatant racist comments about Black students. The professor said, if you train a Black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. She continued, they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. According to reports during the meeting, the acting superintendent, Robert Higgins, was mentioning the creator of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson. Now, I think it's ironic that Allison Friedman would get caught making a remark like this during Black History Month. Speaking of Black History Month, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here on ITNewz Media Group. We're actually dedicating this whole month to Black towns, riots, and massacres. So if you hadn't seen any of our shorts, definitely check that out right here on ITNewz Media Group. Let's continue. Allison Friedman later responded in a statement to the New York Times where she apologized for her remarks, stating how she was actually addressing her child and didn't realize she could be heard through her microphone. She stressed that the mic didn't pick up the full context of her remarks. She says, my complete comments make clear these abhorrent views are not my own, nor were they directed at any student or group. Friedman stated, I fully support these courageous students in their efforts to stop school closures. However, I recognize these comments caused harm and pain. While that was not my intent, I do truly apologize. She is currently placed on leave. I believe we have a video here. So let's go ahead and play that.
Students on Friday. He delivers lessons and helps us fit those skills into our lessons.
Black schools that like
They're
they're too dumb to know they're in a bad school.
Independent in our class.
I mean, Apparently Martin Luther King said it. Like, if you train a black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore. They just
Allison Friedman, what you're saying is absolutely hearable here. You've got to stop.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Me and many other students with our classes and with that.
All right, the Mexican government unalived a Mexican cartel leader by the name of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho. It touched off a wave of violence in several parts of the country. Cartel members blockaded roads, set cars and buildings on fire, also set off explosions. Schools and businesses are currently reopening. The U.S. Embassy said most roads are fully open, flight schedules return to normal, and many airlines planned extra flights for leaving Puerto Vallarta. Some Americans are still figuring out how to return home. So, family, if you do have people in Mexico in English, or if you are in Mexico right now, please be safe and travel accordingly. All right, let's see what else we have. All right, so Governor Gavin Newsom, he's back at it again and in the news. So let's see, for those that don't know, California Governor Gavin Newsom was a guest speaker promoting his new book titled Young Man in a Hurry, alongside Atlanta's Mayor Andre Dickens at Rialto Center for the Arts in Atlanta. Now, some people believe what he said regarding his SAT scores at the event could be interpreted as racist. All right, I think we have another video clip here. Let's see what he had to say. What came out actually out of his mouth.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. And, you know, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Well, let us know what you think about that in the comments. Was he racist? Was that a racist speech, or are people just misinformed? All right, speaking about racism, so it looks like sinners, actors, Michael B. Jordan, and let's see, I'm trying to remember the brother's name because I don't want to forget his name. Sinners actors, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. All right. So it looks like somebody was in the crowd. Allegedly, this dude had Tourette's and said the N-word. But anyway, let's get into this story. And I don't have a clip of this because I don't know for copyright infringement, but I wouldn't probably play it anyway, since I guess, or allegedly, BAFTA didn't even edit it out. So I probably would edit it out for here. But anyway, let's continue with the story. After Tourette syndrome advocate shouted the N-word at Sinners actors Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan during Sunday's BAFTA, which is the British Academy of Film and Television Arts Awards, Lindo says organizers of the event had yet to reach out to him about the incident. John Davidson, the inspiration for the BAFTA-nominated biopic I Swear, disrupted the ceremony with several involuntary outbursts, explicitives, and slurs, a symptom of the nervous system disorder. According to Variety, audiences could hear someone yelling the N-word while Jordan and Lindo were on stage presenting the award for Best Visual Effects. While speaking to Vanity Fair at a Warner Brothers after party, The Oscar nominee said he and Jordan did what they had to do, or specifically did what we had to do, but that he wished someone from BAFTA spoke to us afterwards. BAFTA officials did apologize to people who heard the slur during the BBC One broadcast of the event, which aired 2 hours after, in which the moment was not censored or edited out. The broadcast did, however, omit directors Akinolo Davis Jr.'s while he called out to free Palestine during his speech for that. I guess he won an outstanding British debut, according to the Deadline. Shame, shame, shame. Even, people with Tourette's. All righty, let's see what's going on with this story. Feds say former Florida mayor lived a 30-year lie. Move to strip him of his citizenship. From the moment Felipe Bien-Aimé stepped foot in the United States on July 25, 1995, immigration authorities say the Haitian native has been living a lie. The former mayor of North Miami arrived in the United States with his photo on someone else's passport. Authorities say in a federal lawsuit seeking to strip Bien-Aimé of his citizenship. As part of his naturalization process, they add Bien-Aimé, who's now 60, has lied about who and how many women he's married and divorced, and also about how many children he has had with them. He used his original name, Jean-Philippe Janvier, or Janvier, in a 2000 deportation case in which a U.S. immigration judge ordered his return to Haiti, though he never moved back to his country. Instead, he used a new name, Felipe Bien-Aimé, on a naturalization application in 2005 after he married a U.S. citizen. He also used the name when he won the mayoral election in North Miami in 2019 after 6 years on the city council. An immigration officer said in an affidavit filed in federal court in Miami that as part of the naturalization process, Bien-Aimé was not eligible to receive a visa as a spouse of a U.S. citizen because his marriage to the U.S. citizen was bigamous and invalid, pointing out that he lied about being divorced from his Haitian wife. Bien-Aimé was not legally free to marry the U.S. citizen or allowed to attain an immigration benefit through a bigamous marriage, the officer said in the affidavit supporting the federal lawsuit. The federal suit seeking his denaturalization accuses Bien-Aimé of falsely telling authorities that he has not practiced polygamy and has not given any false testimony to obtain immigration benefits. The decades of alleged deceptions and misrepresentations are at the heart of the federal government's efforts to strip Bien-Aimé of his American citizenship. The case is part of a larger, aggressive Trump administrative campaign to catch immigrants who fraudulently obtain U.S. citizenship. The Department of Justice last year ordered its civil division to prioritize denaturalization cases that have previously been rarely pursued. To back up their allegations, the federal government provides a July 1965 certificate registering the birth of Felipe Janvier immigration applications where Bien-Aimé does not list he had other names or mention one of his purported wives in Haiti and the children she bore him in the United States. A divorce certificate to the other woman in Haiti that they say is fraudulent in his original deportation order from the early 2000s. All right, let's see what's going on. So speaking of Trump, there's more news, obviously, about Trump. I think we have a couple more stories about Trump today. All right, here, let's see. And we do have our good brother Isaac Hayes here on the top of the screen, along with Donald Trump. So let's see what this story is about. A federal judge previously issued an injunction in September 2024 that blocked Trump from using the song moving forward. All right, and that would be Hold On, I'm Coming by Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes' family says that they settled lawsuit against Trump and remain committed to ensuring his music is respected. The family of Isaac Hayes has settled their lawsuit against Trump over the use of his classic soul song, Hold On, I'm Coming, at his campaign rallies. In a statement shared to Facebook, the Hayes family and the late musician's estate said their suit against the president and his presidential campaign organization has been mutually resolved, and we are satisfied with the outcome. This resolution represents more than the conclusion of a legal matter, wrote Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes III. It reaffirms the importance of protecting intellectual property rights and copyrights, especially as they relate to legacy, ownership, and the responsible use of creative works. Donald Trump has been barred from ever playing the music of Isaac Hayes again. I couldn't ask for a better decision, Hayes III said at the time of the injunction. I want this to serve as an opportunity for other artists to come forward that don't want their music used by Donald Trump or other political entities and continue to fight for music artists' rights and copyright. During the lawsuit proceedings, Hayes' estate accused Trump of personally selecting the song and playing it more than 130 times without permission, Rolling Stone reported. Ronald Coleman, Trump's attorney, said at the time that the injunction was a wash, as the campaign had claimed it already agreed to stop using Hold On, I'm Coming at events. The campaign has no interest in annoying or hurting anyone, and if the Hayes family feels that it hurts or annoys them, that's fine. We're not going to force the issue. That's what Coleman said. All right, so more Trump news. So I don't know if anybody watched the State of the Union, but it was quite interesting. Let's see here. I have to get to that story shortly, family. Thank you for your patience. Please like, share, and subscribe right here on Amen the Mass Media Group. Appreciate that. All right. President Donald Trump held the 250th year anniversary of American State of the Union speech on this February 24th, 2026. The speech is a high confidence victory narrative. Trump portrays his first year back in office as an historic turnaround, crediting strict immigration enforcement, tariffs, deregulation, and tax changes for a booming economy and lower costs. While calling for Congress to lock in his priorities on border security, elections, crime, healthcare pricing, and housing, he mixes policy pledges with emotionally charged stories and awards to underscore patriotism, public safety, and military strength, ending with a sweeping American greatness message aimed at the nation's 250th anniversary. Democrats pushed back against President Trump's State of the Union address Tuesday night, with some lawmakers boycotting the speech, attending counter-programming, or mounting a small number of protests from within the House chamber. In the lead up to the address, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, he's the Democrat out of New York, urged Democrats to attend with self-defiance or choose not to attend at all. However, Trump repeatedly sparred with seated Democrats, as some interpreted or refused applaud during his address. Not interpreted, interrupted. There you go. The pushback comes as Democrats enter a midterm year where they hope political headways can help them make gains in the House and Senate. In the latest NPR PBS News Marist poll says 50% of the respondents said the State of the Union is not strong, including 8 in 10 Democrats and about 2/3 of independents. 60% said the country is worse off than it was a year ago, including about 2/3 of independents and 9 in 10 Democrats. At the start of Tuesday's address, Representative Al Green, Democrat out of Texas, held up a sign that read, "Black people aren't apes," in reference to the racist video depicting former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes that was posted on Trump's social media account earlier this month. Green was then escorted out of the chamber. And for those that don't remember, Al Green was also removed from the chamber last year for protesting Trump's address to a joint session of Congress. Other protests include immigration crackdown and the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Also, Democrats invited alleged victims and survivors of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Some lawmakers were wearing pins that read, "Stand with survivors, release the files." Donald Trump would end his speech by saying, quote, "The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America." Well, I guess the one thing he didn't mention since the inception of this country, like most of the State of the Union addresses haven't, is the original sin that built this country. It's called chattel slavery. All right, so the U.S. women's hockey team didn't attend the State of the Union because it looks like they were busy, even though they got invited. The gold medal winning United States women's hockey team declined an offer by the White House to attend Tuesday's State of the Union address, citing timing and previously scheduled academic and professional commitments was the reason. The women's team beat Canada for the gold medal in a come from behind victory 2-1. All right, we are moving through. So out here in California, there is a big time billionaire out here that is running for governor, and his name is Tom Steyer. He currently has dropped a staggering $66 million into his campaign. I'll repeat that again. He dropped, or is dropping, $66 million into his own campaign to run for governor out here in California. Tom Steyer, a former hedge fund capitalist, liberal, environmentalist, and major Democratic donor, put another $28.5 million this month into his gubernatorial campaign, bringing his personal stake in the race to $66.7 million. Steyer gave $9.3 million to his campaign in January after throwing down $28 million last year to get the party started with an avalanche of campaign ads. By comparison, Governor Gavin Newsom's campaign spent $46.8 million in 2018 during his first win. Winning a second term in 2020 cost Newsom's campaign $21.6 million. A new poll by the Public Policy Institute of California had Steyer garnering now 10% support, just behind Democrats such as former Congresswoman Katie Porter at 13% and Representative Eric Swalwell at 11%. Porter finished second in Democratic fundraising last year with $6 million, while Swalwell, supported by a cadre of Hollywood A-listers, hauled in $3.1 million. Steyer's mantra of being, quote, the billionaire who will fight billionaires, end quote, seems to be working, I guess. Just to note, an estimated $18 million is potentially going to be spent on securing the California State Descendants of American Slavery Bureau out here in California, along with a study and various supportive roles, while currently no funding mechanism has been established. So based on Steyer's campaign numbers, I would definitely say he could literally by himself fund the current reparations initiatives. And that's just by himself. So it's kind of interesting how America will spend money where it wants to, and they'll definitely find it where they can, and at the same time complain that America's broke and we don't have any money, right? So speaking about wealthy people, we have the CEO of Uber. Uber CEO says he expects employees to answer his emails on weekends immediately, or else risk getting pushed out. In a recent episode of the Diary of CEO podcast, Dara Khosrowshahi said that at Uber, he doesn't talk about work-life balance. He has created an environment where he can send emails over the weekend and expect a response back immediately. Quote, "We're going to be really demanding," end quote, he told the podcast. Quote, "If you're not performing, we're going to let you know. And if you don't fix it, we're going to push you out," end quote. The Uber CEO said that hard work is the most important skill in life for young people to develop, whether they study engineering, medicine, or literature. He calls hard work a skill because it requires staying focused on something, not being discouraged by failure, and embracing a grim determination. Putting in hard work compounds over time, he noted. "For me, with my kids, I just want to teach them how to work hard," he said. "For me, growing up as a banker, as an executive, I'm not going to let anyone outwork me. If that's true, then they may be smarter, more talented, etc. But I'm not going to let anyone outwork me." That's kind of interesting because if he thinks answering emails is hard, try building or rebuilding and putting back a transmission in a car. All right. So speaking of wealthy individuals and owning companies, Block. All right. So Block is cutting jobs. Co-founder Jack Dorsey of Block Technologies, which is the company behind Cash App and Square, is laying off 4,000 people. He says others will do the same within the next year. Block is cutting nearly half of its 10,000 workforce, affecting over 4,000 employees, despite posting a $1.3 billion profit. Dorsey cites artificial intelligence tools as the reason, stating a smaller team using AI can achieve more, and predicts similar changes across the tech industry within a year. The company aims to become a smaller, faster, intelligence-native organization with benefits including more focus, quicker releases, and faster learning, which boosted Block's stock by 23% after hours. All right. I think we have a video regarding this matter. Let's play.
Anxiety high in the financial space today, as you know, so too within the American workforce. Now to McKenzie on Block cutting almost 50% of its workforce. Mac?
And Scott, Block CEO Jack Dorsey blaming those 4,000 job cuts on AI, and Wall Street is all in on that narrative. Morgan Stanley upgraded to overweight. Goldman said the cuts appear concentrated in engineering roles rather than revenue-generating positions. It raised its price target to $90. The stock's at $62 now. And Wells Fargo called the quarter chock full of positive surprises. And what makes this harder to dismiss as AI washing is that Block isn't in trouble. Cash App gross profit surged 33%. Full-year EPS guidance crossed.
My pleasure to welcome.
Anxiety high in the financial space today, as you know, so too within the American workforce. Now to McKenzie on Block cutting almost 50% of its workforce. Mac?
And Scott, Block CEO Jack Dorsey blaming those 4,000 job cuts on AI, and Wall Street is all in on that narrative. Morgan Stanley upgraded to overweight. Goldman said the cuts appear concentrated in engineering roles rather than revenue-generating positions. It raised its price target to $90. The stock's at $62 now. And Wells Fargo called the quarter chock full of positive surprises. And what makes this harder to dismiss as AI washing is that Block isn't in trouble. Cash App gross profit surged 33%. Full-year EPS guidance crushed estimates. So this is a profitable business, making the case that it can run on half the people. And this cut takes headcount back to 2020 levels. But the efficiency target is new. Block wants gross profit per employee at 4x pre-COVID levels, all driven by AI. The Autodesk CEO told CNBC earlier today that he's also looking to increase that same metric, Scott.
All right, Mac, thank you. Mackenzie Sagalos on certainly a big...
Well, family, looks like we all got to get our AI skills up or we might be out of a job. The Gray House, it's a mini-series executive produced by Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman, is based on a true story involved with 4 women creating a spy network during the American Civil War, sending secrets from the South to the Northern Union Army. It's currently available on Amazon Prime. Anybody's seen it yet? I haven't. It looks pretty decent. I think I might check it out. Might even do a review on it. All right, so speaking about Hollywood.
My pleasure to...
Here, we'll play that video soon. Bill Duke. Yes, the great and one and only Bill Duke. All right. He is currently being, I was going to say inducted into the Hall of Fame, but I don't know. That might or might not be true eventually. But anyway, this week, the longtime actor, producer, writer, and director Bill Duke, and he recently actually turned 83, was honored with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. I believe we have a video clip on that, so let's play it.
My pleasure to welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Bill Duke.
This star is not only a celebration of my industry accomplishments, but it will be an ongoing legacy that my daughter, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren can experience long after I am gone.
That's your left. Today, Hollywood honors Bill Duke, the actor and director. But those of us who truly know you understand something much deeper. Your stardom cannot be confined to this sidewalk. It does not live in terrazzo and brass. I think that's what the material of this star is, terrazzo and brass. It lives in the lives you've shaped, the careers you've encouraged, and the culture you've protected. Bill, it is my honor to stand here today and to say what so many of us feel. You earned this long ago, and if we're being honest, it took too far long.
Shout out to our good brother, Bill Duke, and may he have many more upcoming birthdays and maybe commemorate, man, and his wonderful work that he's done over the many years. So well deserved. All right, so that is in the news. We know that the month of February is soon coming up to a close, and so is Black History Month. But remember that Black history is American history. Black history is not just in February, but it's all year. So go out, family, and make history. All right. So thanks for watching. Excuse me. And we will see you next time right here on Emenda Mass Media Group. And if you have a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. We're out. Peace and reparations. That's in the news.